You're on. You got a band.
I do.
And you've had it for 2 years?
3.5 years.
3.5 years. And went to Mexico for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience of getting the surgery in Mexico and everything worked out okay?
Yeah, it did.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad.
No.
I did wake up with some pain that I had for probably 2 or 3 weeks after I got home, but it slowly went away.
So you had more pain than Mrs. B, who we just saw, you would say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. I mean, we're doing kind of a little bit more surgery, yet we're able to kind of keep people pretty comfortable, and we hope that that's going to be the case for you. And the 3.5 years after surgery, you talked a little bit yesterday, things haven't gone that well.
No. It's been a living hell.
So this kind of rules you out as a spokesmodel for the LapBand, is that right?
Yeah. I mean, I had an overfill. You know, the problem is I don't know if I really understood what I was getting into. So when I came back to Portland, I couldn't find a doctor that would do the fills.
Right.
So I found a doctor that would do the fill, and then he gave me an overfill. And this is my first experience with the fills. So she filled me so tight that I couldn't swallow my own saliva. And if I even, every time I'd swallow, imagine, I don't know how else to describe it other than just throwing up from my toes. I would throw up so hard, and once I started, I couldn't stop. So imagine, I'm going to have this weight loss surgery, and my husband's supportive, although very, skeptical. And it kind of all started with the birth of my third child in 3 years. My son was 12 pounds, and I really had a hard time. I would go on liquid fast, I would lose the weight, and then it just, I know like everybody, and then I would just gain the weight back, and it was just, a doctor had this idea that I needed bariatric surgery. So I'm like, yeah, and I wasn't having enough at the time, and that's what led me down to Mexico. So, so my first experience with the fill was that it landed me in the hospital because of severe dehydration. And so then the experience is that nobody knew what the heck I had. Nobody understood what I had. And so that was just really frustrating. So I was passed off to, gastroenterologist, everybody who just wanted it out. But I just got it in. I wanted to make it work. And, I couldn't eat normal food. I would just throw it up. It was, you were talking yesterday about how you've talked to people who kind of have to, carry a bag around. I'd be toting my 3 kids around, and all of a sudden, something would get stuck. And, I guess I was never smart enough to bring something with me because I was always looking for something, which is just the most demoralizing experience, to have your kids be used to, why I'm going to the bathroom, or Mommy, are you going to go throw up again? Even when I cough now, I kind of just, it's almost like a habit, like I'm almost going to throw up. I don't have any fluid in now because they took it out. I remember one time I always tried it, like I'm really going to try to make a go of it. And so I went to go get a fill, and then they found that the port was twisted. And it was probably from all of my wretched, violent throwing up. So I had a port revision, and I had a fill, and then I just would do nothing but throw up and gain weight, because you quickly learn, like, well, if I can't eat an apple, if I can't eat, broccoli or bread, then you know what, I'm going to have things that just kind of dissolve in my mouth, because when you throw up that violently, it would just leave me just shaking, just so exhausted. So I would, I would eat cookies. I would eat things that I wasn't even a big ice cream eater, but you would just learn, what to eat.
Ice cream goes down great.
Yeah, it does.
Chocolate milkshake?
It doesn't get stuck, and when I would throw up, it would just leave me, and I had, you have to keep going. You have a life to live. And it was really painful for my family. I have a very supportive family and friends. And I know they were just mortified, when I was always throwing up. It's just something I do. I don't have a fill now, but I did have to have a port revision. And I think when I had just had it is when I finally found a doctor in Bend, Oregon, which is about 3 hours from where I live. And they're from Salem, so I know that they know where Bend is. And so I finally found a doctor that would see me, because no other doctors in Portland would even talk to me because I had the surgery in Mexico. And so I was really excited. I found a doctor that would see me and, you know, help me with my problem. And he pretty much gave me, you know, well, the band, you aren't doing it right. You know, that kind. And then
It's your fault.
It's my fault, you know, and and you kind of buy into that.
So you felt bad about yourself personally?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Because you had gotten this high-tech, big successful tool, and you couldn't make it work.
That's right.
So it must be something wrong with you.
I'm not doing it right.
Right.
You know,
You tried all the chewing and going slowly, all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and it seemed like I was more hungry after the surgery than I was before. I don't know why. I don't know if it was psychological or what, but that's the way it felt to me. And then I started having a lot of port pain. Just a lot of port pain. And I don't know if it's because I gained so much weight with the band.
Kind of stretching on the stitches and all
yeah,
that.
I'm not really sure. I'll never forget, you know, I just kind of turned like that. And I could just feel it. You know, and then just trying to get health care for that was crazy. You know, no one would see me. I was in flippin', you know, pain. And everybody's just, you know, go to the emergency room. Well, what are they going to do for me there? I wanted to go see that doctor in Bend, the only one that would see me. And he was just kind of like, well, I'm not sure what you want me to do for you. And I was just like, and he told me I was frustrating him because I wanted him to cure me over the phone. I'm like, no, I want to get on the road and go over to Bend and have you help me because I can't even walk. You know, so I think that was like my
low point.
You know, it really was. And so that's when I just like typed in failed LapBand just to see what would come up. And I saw the YouTube, you know, the thing about people just like me who've had the same problem. You know, it's a tough thing to go through when you have a weight loss surgery, and it does completely the opposite. And that's been my life.
And we're hopeful today that's going to change.
Yeah.
No more throwing up.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I am nervous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm excited, but I couldn't sleep last night because I am nervous because of what I've been through. And it's just like, well, you know, and this works for everybody. But how do I know it's going to work for me?
That's what Giovanni said.
And I'm nervous.
Yeah, Giovanni said the same thing. He said, I put my trust in you doctors, you know, you all doctors, and you guys failed me. He says, so I'm a little hesitant to kind of put my faith in you guys again. So it's kind of like, it's not, I'm part of all the other doctors, and so the only one good thing is that we hope and pray and expect that's been a little helpful to talk to Giovanni and Teresa and some of the other people who've been through this. And our hopes and prayers and expectations is that the kind of your nightmare is about to be over. So
I hope so. Thank you.
thanks for talking to everybody.
Thank you.